potential League and Cup treble on their hands this season. They start with Kepa Arrizabalaga starting against his former side. He kept 35 clean sheets in his 6 years at Chelsea in 109 appearances across all competitions. Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, Jurrien Timber, Declan Rice, Martin Zubimendi, Martin Ødegaard, Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard and Victor Gyökeres make up the remaining starting 11 for Arsenal. It's only the second time this season that Mikel Arteta has had all three striker options available at his disposal after Gabriel Jesus and more recently Kai Havertz have returned back from injury. Both have a place on the bench for Arsenal this evening, as does Eberechi Eze, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Noni Madueke again. If he comes on, he'll be against his former side. Martinelli fresh off a hat-trick in the FA Cup game against Portsmouth at the weekend. Mikel Merino, Christian Norgard and David Raya make up the remaining 9 on the bench for Arsenal. Simon Hooper is the referee for this evening's game and Jared Gillet is in charge of VAR should it be required, as Chelsea aim to put an end to the last 6 games they've gone without a win against Arsenal. They have home advantage for the first leg and it's massively important that going into the second they can have that advantage in terms of the scoreline. We've seen between Manchester City and Newcastle yesterday. In 3 weeks' time the two sides will meet again in the second leg to determine who it is that makes the trip to Wembley. Just looking at the formations for the two sides, then it's 4-2 at 3-1 for Chelsea with Sanchez in goal. Achimpong on the right hand side, Cucurella returning back from suspension on the left. Chalobah and Fofana the two centre backs. The holding midfielders Enzo Fernandez and Andre Santos with Estevao wide on the right hand side, Pedro Neto out on the left, and João Pedro will stay as the just behind the lone striker of Mark Guia, who maintains his place of course in the absence of Liam Delap. It's 4-3-3 for Arsenal with Arrizabalaga in goal, Ben White on the right hand side, Jurrien Timber therefore switched over to the left with the absence of Ricardo Calafiori through injury, also Hincapie being absent from today's squad. Saliba and Gabriel as the two centre-backs with Ødegaard, Zubimendi and Declan Rice operating in midfield 3. Bukayo Saka, White on the right-hand side, Leandro Trossard on the left, and Victor Gyökeres gets the nod to return back into the starting lineup for Arsenal as the lone striker playing through the middle. We will just have a moment's applause here at Stamford Bridge prior to the captains being called to the centre by Simon Hooper, and we too here on Flashscore will observe that also. The applause has drawn to its conclusion from the supporters, the players, the staff in and around Stamford Bridge this evening. I've mentioned how important it is for Chelsea to take an advantage into the second leg. Probably equally, if not more important, that Arsenal can avoid being at a disadvantage going into the second leg. Of course, playing host to Chelsea, the Emirates Stadium, in just a couple of weeks' time. Extremely humble, extremely modest from Liam Rosenior, who says that there will be plenty of opportunities for Chelsea players to make a statement in this starting lineup. Maresca departed the club not too long ago, and after a 5-1 win away at the weekend against Charlton in his first game in charge, he hopes to build on the momentum he's already started. It's Arsenal will get things underway for us, kicking off from left to right in the red and white. Declan Rice will do the honours on the whistle of Simon Hooper. He plays it all the way back to Arrizabalaga just outside of his area, who takes the touch and gets the ball out from under his feet towards Gyökeres. He's let that run all the way through to Saka, into the area, drags it back across the middle, and Sanchez holds on to the ball down to his right-hand side inside of the 6-yard box. Immediate stop from Arsenal, putting Chelsea on the back foot. Gyökeres just let that take a bounce, and Cucurella seemed to misjudge it, and it allowed Saka to make a run down the right-hand side. I'm looking forward to the battle between Bukayo Saka and Mark Cucurella. He's now out to the right-hand side. The pass is made to Achimpong. It's further down the right-hand side for Estevao to chase. In goes the tackle from Timber. Out of play for a throw-in. The linesman discussing with the referee the potential of a foul in the build-up there. Throw-ins taken short to Enzo Fernandez. He's been fouled, and now it will be a free kick. Chelsea are sending players forward into the box. Up from the back goes Fofana and Chalobah onto the edge of the area. Plenty of options in the middle with Enzo Fernandez sending this towards the edge of the area. Flicked on by Gyökeres, can't quite clear the ball. It will now be a throw in on the left hand side to Chelsea, equal with the edge of the 18-yard box. Now the defenders, the centre-backs have stayed forward as Cucurella comes across to take the throw in. There's options to his left, goes short to João Pedro, gets it back to Cucurella. Now to Pedro Neto, his cross is blocked and it's turned behind for a corner to Chelsea. And it'll be the first corner of the evening. It'll be from the left-hand side, and Enzo Fernandez will go across to take this. And again, the centre-backs have stayed forward. Just close to him, he's actually got João Pedro come short for maybe a short pass, but one of the taller players, you'd expect him in and around the 6-yard box, causing some issues. He's now made his run back to the edge of the 6-yard boxes. Enzo Fernandez cross comes in towards the near post, but it hits the side netting, and it will be an Arsenal goal kick as Ariza Balaga complains towards Simon Hooper, who felt that there was some fouling going on towards him. Perhaps something to keep an eye on. When he turns around to make that statement, though, towards the referee, he's surrounded by a sea of Arsenal players. He's going to have this goal kick, and he's going to take it from inside the 6-yard box centrally. Gets that away out onto the right hand side. Cross goes Ben White, but it's headed away first by Andre Santos. Out of play on the right hand side for an Arsenal throw-in. Ben White will drop back into his own half to take this as Saliba just plays the ball down the line for him to be able to do so. Just about equal with the edge of the centre circle inside of Arsenal's half. He's got Saliba to his left still as support. Declan Rice trying to make an option, plays it back to Saliba, who goes into his area now to Ariza Balaga, turns on the ball and out to his left hand side, finds some space here for Timber. Now by the touchline, Timber goes back to Gabriel on the edge of the area. They've put a clearance down the left hand side, held up by Gyökeres. There's no Arsenal players in the vicinity to support, and it is won back by Andre Santos. Feeds it down the right hand side, Esteban can't get there. Played back by Timber, all the way back to Ariza Balaga. First time clearance headed down by Fofana. Intercepted by Declan Rice, whose pass is intercepted by Enzo. Inside the midfield area for Chelsea now. Back into their own half to Chalobah. Chalobah helps this all the way back now to Sanchez. Out to his left hand side, he's got Cucurella for support, but drills this forward. And it's headed away by Gabriel into the space for Gyökeres, but Sanchez alert to it, still on the edge of his areas. Catches the ball as it comes in, just to stop Gyökeres from lurking onto the edge of the headed clearance from Saliba inside of his own half. And Sanchez plays this short to Fofana. Through the middle for João Pedro. Takes a touch inside. Now to Santos. Out to Esteban. Back to Santos. Deep inside of his own half. To his left now finds Fofana. All the way back to Sanchez. It's a poor pass. Ødegaard's going to give chase as Sanchez is forced to get the ball away. Up to the left hand side. And there's a battle going on there between Gabriel and Guiu. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. It looked like the Chelsea striker was holding on to the arm of the Arsenal centre-back, and no hesitation from Simon Hooper to issue the free kick in favour of the visitors. Played short by Rice back to Gabriel. Now to his right to Saliba. Now for Ben White. Still with Ødegaard further down the line. And back to Saliba, still on the edge of the area. Now to his left to Gabriel. Still with Timber beside him. Gets the ball away. Gyökeres can't meet it as it's cleared away towards Andre Santos. Inside now it's gone to Leandro Trossard. Down the left hand side there's going to be a chase on here, and he almost gets there, does Jurriën Timber. The tackle comes in from Chalobah. It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in on that left hand side. Turns back immediately to appreciate the pass that was made towards him. And Declan Rice from equal on the edge of the area on the left hand side will take this throw-in for Arsenal. But this is what you like to see in a cup semi-final. Both sides throwing everything they've got inside the first 5 minutes into the opposition half. And Arsenal have a long throw into the area. Instead, Rice goes short. It's got everybody off guard. It's with Zubimendi on the edge of the area. Back to Rice. Chance to get a cross in. Plays it down the line for Timber. Tackle comes in against Chalobah, and it's going to be an Arsenal corner. Again, no hesitation from the referee as Chalobah's holding on to just below his shin pad and around the ankle area. He's slow to get back to his feet as Jurrien Timber just checks on him. Have a look at the replay, just a slower version of the incident. As Timber has flicked the ball onto Chalobah, but it looks like the studs have caught the calf area of Chalobah as well as he's gone into the challenge, so it's understandable the reaction, but he is back to his feet and inside the 6-yard box, and it will help Chelsea defend this set piece. Something that Arsenal have been very dominant at this season is scoring goals from set pieces. They are top of the set piece goals tally across the top 5 divisions of European football. Cross comes in towards the middle, scored 25 goals, and they've just scored another here. It's gone in towards the back post, and it's been converted by Ben White. In swinging corner from Declan Rice, and Arsenal have a situation to attack these set pieces where they start on the edge of the 6-yard box and crowd the 6-yard box all at once. That catches the defenders off guard, and it's very difficult to prepare for it as Liam Rosenior tries to rally the troops. Inside 7 minutes Arsenal have a lead, and it has come from a set piece. In swinger from Declan Rice, goes in towards Ben White. Chelsea players in some areas are calling for either a foul or offside, and Sanchez, who's come out for the ball, has ran straight into Cucurella, so he's ran into his own player, and as Ben White's headed that down, it's an attacking header, makes things very difficult for the defender on the line. It's Guiu who stood there. Acheampong can't get to it either, and it's just bounced into the goal. The only thing I could see that may play some part is Gyökeres, especially after the goal that was disallowed for Manchester City yesterday. It would be very interesting to see if Ben White's goal is about to stand, because it's a very similar scenario in that Victor Gyökeres was stood in a very similar situation to that of Erling Haaland, but this goal's going to stand. Yesterday it didn't for Manchester City, and that may stir up some controversy surrounding VAR. It is Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1, and straight from kick-off Sanchez plays the ball out to his left-hand side. It takes the bounce, and it'll be an Arsenal throw-in on their right-hand side, which Ben White, the goal scorer for Arsenal, will go across to take. It was Gyökeres that was stood on the line. I think he was holding on around Acheampong. There's always the argument as to whether someone is in an offside position. There weren't too many complaints when Simon Hooper decided to let the goal stand. And now to the left-hand side, Gyökeres is going to give chase, but the ball's going to roll out of play, and we'll have a Chelsea throw-in out on that right-hand side. Acheampong will be the one to take inside of his own half as Arteta just tries to encourage the defensive mentality not to slip of his players. Thrown short to Enzo Fernandez. First time clearance goes up into Arsenal half. Now with Jurrien Timber, will turn on the ball away from Guiu, plays it out to Declan Rice. First time clearance over the top. Gyökeres is going to chase this. Fofana's going to get there first inside of the area. Has time to play this back to Sanchez inside of the 6-yard box. Plays this short, but it plays his defender into some trouble. Zubimendi gets there, plays it to Declan Rice through the middle towards Trossard, and Sanchez will come out and collect, but Arsenal have a chance there that's just gone begging. Sanchez passed through the middle. It caused all sorts of problems for Fofana. Chelsea are trying to play out from the back, and Arsenal causing all sorts of trouble with this high press and forcing Chelsea into these areas, and they've just done the same again here, but it's won back in midfield by Andre Santos, out to his right hand side for Esteban, who for an attacking winger is deep inside his own half, and it's not allowing Chelsea to really put the pressure on Arsenal at the moment. They are on the back foot despite being in possession as I speak. So with Esteban, back to Acheampong, forced back into his own half across to Fofana, now to Chalobah, going to be closed down by Gyökeres, through the middle to Santos and back to Fofana, and out to Chalobah. Now he's closed down by Zubimendi, all the way back to Sanchez, and just 30 seconds ago Chelsea had the ball inside of Arsenal's half, and now they're forced deep into their own. Neto lays this off for Pedro, up towards Guiu, back to Neto, who's under pressure, gets there ahead of Declan Rice. He's got Cucurella down the left wing for support, but instead goes back into his own half, and it's with Enzo Fernandez looking for an outlet. To his right hand side finds Chalobah, further over to the right now with Acheampong, support in the middle, plays it to Santos. Fernandez still to his left, inside of the centre circle, drives forward with the ball into Arsenal's half, and gives it to Esteban, who plays it back to him, now to João Pedro, and now to Fernandez, and again back to Fofana, under pressure from Ødegaard, forced all the way back to Sanchez just outside of his area, closed down by Trossard, pass upfield, takes a touch by Esteban, can turn on the ball and drive into Arsenal's half. In comes the tackle from Zubimendi, it goes to Timber, and now across to Saliba, and it's back to Ben White, and Arsenal get possession back just outside of their own half. Now to Arrizabalaga, out to the left hand side for Timber, and now Trossard back to Timber. Rice comes short for support on the edge of his area. Timber upfield. Zubimendi flicks this on away from Trossard. It's fallen to Fernandez. A chance lines up for him on the edge of the area. Sends it right footed, but it's straight into the arms of Arrizabalaga. He'll be more than happy to just take those shots directly at him. Rolls us out to his left hand side for Timber, who runs out of room on the left hand side, trying to take this past Achimpong. It'll be a throw into Chelsea inside of Arsenal's half. Throws this back now to Fernandez. Across to Fofana. And back to Fernandez. Inside of the centre circle, Chelsea in possession now with Santos. And again for Fernandez. Cucurella to his left, goes central to Pedro instead. Now Fofana, forced all the way back to Sanchez. Ødegaard's going to give chase, plays it back to Santos, who's under pressure. Passes out to Fofana, who remains under pressure now from Declan Rice. Has got Cucurella, finds the pass to Neto upfield, now to Saka, who takes the deflection and it goes out to play for a Chelsea throw-in. Cucurella plays this quickly through the middle for Guiu, who can't control possession, wins a free kick. Instead the referee's given advantages, and there's a breakaway on the right hand side now with Estevao onto the edge of the area. There's options through the middle, lays it back to Fernandez on the edge of the area. His efforts blocked by Saliba. It falls back to Chalobah, who's under pressure from Gyökeres on the right hand side, down the line to Guiu, back to Santos. Chelsea in the ascendancy now, enjoying a spell of possession inside of Arsenal's half. A rare spell so far in the first half. Estevao can't get his shot away. It's bounced back off Rice, balls to Fernandez, out to his right hand side for Sancho, and now out to Guiu for Estevao. Fernandez lets this run but can't get to Cucurella as Saka gets the ball away into Chelsea's half, and it's going to be chased down by Fofana, who plays this back to Sanchez. And then Chelsea in possession, and Arsenal will regroup. Now with Enzo Fernandez out to the right hand side for Chalobah. Further right for Guiu, who seems to have swapped with Estevao momentarily. The two seem to be swapping back now as Fofana gets this inside the centre circle. Now to Fernandez, back to Fofana. Now Enzo Fernandez, and again Fofana. Out to Chalobah, just behind him. He has to drop back 5 yards to get to the ball. He's under pressure from Trossard, who nearly wins it back, but the strength battle's won by Chalobah. Then the tackle comes in from Trossard through the middle to Gyökeres, who's got time to turn on the ball. Plays it out to Yuri and Timber, and Arsenal now in possession. The press inside of Chelsea's half just win the ball back for them as Declan Rice gets this and plays it to Zubimendi. Now to Gabriel, to his right hand side, 15 yards, finds some space here for Saliba. And across again to Gabriel. Down the left hand side with Timber, closed down by Neto. Now he has space to move up towards the halfway line. Declan Rice helps out. Now across to Ødegaard. Turns back to his left hand side onto his favoured left foot, and plays it out to his right anyway. It opens up the gap there for Saliba. Now to Saka, under pressure from Cucurella, and Saliba down the right hand side, finds a lot of space here for Zubimendi into the area, plays it across to Gyökeres, can't get his shot away, turns it onto his left foot, surrounded by Chelsea players. Across the face of goal it goes, and just wide, and it's going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. It's lovely build-up play by Arsenal, just catching Chelsea outnumbered. And then as Gyökeres got the ball in the middle, Chelsea were able to get players back because Achimpong had just closed the angle down. It forced him to his left to make the angle a little bit more acute, and to drill that across the face of goal. There were no Arsenal players gambling at the end. And the referee says it took a touch off of Achimpong on its way through, and Arsenal are in fact going to have a corner on the right hand side. Saliba and Gabriel make their way into the area as there'll be an in-swinging corner from the right hand side now by Bukayo Saka. Trossard's in and around the 6 yard box, and Arsenal will now start to attack that 6 yard box as Saka starts his run up. Chelsea are prepared for it this time. Many players inside as it goes towards the back post. Sanchez can't get a hold of it. It's cleared away by Fernandez, and it will be brought back for a free kick to Chelsea inside the 6 yard box for a foul on the goalkeeper. Going to look at where this foul may have taken place. Yeah, this one certainly is a foul in Chelsea's favour as Sanchez has come out for the ball and he's just collided with Saliba. Sanchez looks short for the options beside him. Plays it to his left for Fofana. Back to Sanchez, closed down by Ødegaard. He leaves it till the very last second before distributing the ball away. Esteban brings it down and it's with Trossard, headed away by Timber. Brought down by Achimpong, inside to Santos. Across the middle for Fernandez. And now for Cucurella. Back to Fofana. Now Chalobah. Just to go back to Sanchez inside of his area. Clearance out to his left hand side. Declan Rice is on hand to win it back for Arsenal. He'll make a breakaway. He's got supporting options getting towards him. He just dribbles the ball back and has a chance to get a cross in. Has options to in the middle. Trossard's there for support. Plays the ball towards Trossard, who's beaten Esteban. Takes it into the area. Esteban makes up the ground. And Trossard can't get the cross in just yet. Back to Timber. Now to Rice. That's Timber still for support. We go back to Gabriel. Again for Rice. Rice through the middle to Saliba. And now to White. Now to Sacco up against Cucurella. And then White. Outside of the boot pass to Gyökeres, who gets there just ahead of his marker and plays the ball to Saka. Still wide right by the touchline. This pass bypasses Ødegaard, gives it to Saliba. This touch lays it off for Ødegaard, but it seemed like a very risky pass to make. It was a short pass and Ødegaard had to reach second gear to get there first, but it is back with Saliba now. Switches this over to the left hand side. Timber lets that run for Trossard, and a miscommunication gives Chelsea a throw in on the right hand side with Achimpong equal with the edge of his own area. Just looking at the replay between for the goal for Ben White, and just you see it, you've got to tell me the difference between that and the goal from Antoine Semenyo yesterday. Certainly will raise more questions than it gives answers. As it stands at Stamford Bridge, it's the difference between the two sides. It's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1 as Sanchez gets this ball away to the right hand side. It's left to run by Trossard. Gabriel's going to get there alongside Guiu, and he's going to win a free kick by the touchline right in front of the line. There's been no hesitation in waving the flag, despite the Chelsea strikers' disbelief in the linesman's decision. It goes now to Saliba and back to Gabriel, out to the left hand side for Declan Rice. Plays this all the way back for Arrizabalaga. Outside of the area to his left hand side. Headed away, Ødegaard's going to try and get there. He's been tripped, no free kick given as Santos comes away with the ball up towards the halfway line. Now finds some space on the right hand side for João Pedro. Up against Gabriel, options in the middle, waits for more support. Esteban's come short. Another option in the middle there making the run is Enzo Fernandez as he crosses over to the back post, but Pedro Neto's not going to get there in time, and it will be a goal kick to Arsenal. Sure why the option was to go for Pedro Neto. He couldn't get the separation on Ben White at the back post. It goes wide and out of play for a goal kick to Arsenal. Many attacking options are available on the bench for Chelsea this evening, or at least no out-and-out strikers available. The goal kick's headed away. Pedro gets there. Plays it to Enzo Fernandez, who's forced to go back to Fofana. All the way back to Robert Sanchez we go again with Chelsea. Now Fofana gets the ball away from Ødegaard, but he's still under pressure. Here it goes to João Pedro, who also is under pressure, and that's going to be a throw into Arsenal. Comes off the toe of João Pedro, who tried to beat Saliba down that left-hand side. And he turns immediately back and shows disapproval to the pass he's just received, but he wins it back from the throw, and now it's out to Pedro Neto. João Pedro has a job to keep that in play, nudged in the back, and it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea by the touchline, just in front of the technical area on this left-hand side. Played back by Cucurella to Enzo Fernandez around the halfway line. Now to Santos. To Chalobah. Now Enzo Fernandez inside of the centre circle. Looks for the run, but it opens up some space for Esteban on the right hand side. Again, options available in the middle, but can't get the cross away. Trossard's piling on the pressure. He's forced to go back to Chalobah. Now to Fernandez. Santos across to Fernandez again. Now for Cucurella. Out to Pedro Neto. Gets that ball beyond Saka. He's also beaten Ben White onto the edge of the area. Cross comes in and away it goes by Declan Rice. There'll be a throw in now on the left hand side for Chelsea. Cucurella throws this short to Pedro. Goes back to Fernandez and now to Fofana. Into the middle for Chalobah. Back to Fofana, now for Cucurella, into the middle for Enzo Fernandez. Switches this out to the right hand side, brought down by Esteban on the edge of the area. He's up against Timber. Will dribble this into the area onto his left foot, can't get the cross away. Out it falls to Achimpong, now to Fernandez. Goes out to João Pedro, who has to stretch out his right foot to get there, but it only plays the ball into the path of Saka. Down the right hand side, Gyökeres is going to go there, and so is Chalobah, who gets there first, but it's only to his left hand side, and Gyökeres beats him to the ball, but saves the danger for now for Chelsea. As it's back to Ben White and now to Saliba. Into the middle for Rice. Now Zubimendi. Out to Ødegaard. Across the middle for Declan Rice. Inside of the centre circle currently, out to Ødegaard. Will take this into Chelsea's half, and he's got more space to move into. Just opening up for him as Ben White moves forward. Plays it out to Saka. Then back to Ødegaard. Best for switching this out to Trossard, but thinks better of it and goes short to Gabriel instead. He helps the ball along to Trossard by the touchline. Achimpong will close him down. Goes short to Timber. Now to Trossard for Ødegaard, who's tripped and wins a free kick in a very dangerous position here. Was tripped by the Chelsea captain Enzo Fernandez, who's just got a few choice words to say to Simon Hooper. The referee just advises him to step away to avoid a booking, and the captain does just that. Declan Rice stood over this free kick. Martin Ødegaard is as well. Likes of Saka, Saliba, Gyökeres and Zubimendi all around the edge of the area. A few further yards into their areas where Chelsea are holding this line. As Sanchez is just organising the wall that's consistent of Esteban and Pedro Neto. The wall is about 3 yards onto the edge of the area, if that helps you imagine just where this free kick is and how dangerous of a position this is for Arsenal, as Gabriel's made his way forward also. Ødegaard's the only one stood over this free kick. Cross comes in towards the middle, it's bounced back off Achimpong, sent goalwards by Zubimendi, but into the stands it goes. There'll be a goal kick now for Chelsea. It was a poor clearance in the end, that Chalobah just had to get there ahead of Achimpong because the Chelsea defender had initially missed the clearance. Goal kick will be taken by Fofana, and he plays this short to Sanchez, who wasn't aware. He has to rush to get there. Plays it out now for Chalobah. Simon Hooper is just issuing the instruction. The goal kick will be retaken, noting that Gyökeres was inside of the area when this was taken. And now it's played short again by Fofana to Sanchez. This time his goalkeeper is aware of it. Goes out to João Pedro, who loses out to Saka. The referee says that it's a free kick in Chelsea's favour. João Pedro having to come to the edge of his own area, playing in a number 10 role, just behind the lone striker of Guiu, having to come back to the edge of his own area to retrieve possession, just to try and make something happen for Chelsea at the moment. I think, if anything, speaks testament to just how good of a high press Arsenal actually committing forward to Chelsea at the moment. As a free kick is played short by Fofana to Sanchez. And then to Fofana, now to Enzo Fernandez. He's in a tussle with Ødegaard, but he comes away with the ball into the opposition half. Out to his right hand side, gets the pass off to Achimpong, and now Chalobah. Across the middle for Fofana. Into the middle to João Pedro, and Zubimendi wins it back momentarily though. As Chalobah gets there ahead of him, and now it's to Esteban, out to the right hand side for Achimpong, sends this goal which turned behind by Arrizabalaga. Arsenal want to flag for offside, and after the ball has been turned away by Arrizabalaga, they will get the said flag, and it will be a free kick to Arsenal. Esteban looked for the pass. Ooh, that is very close. It looks like, if anything, it is marginal. It is just in Arsenal's favour. But Ben White was actually a few yards further back than the rest of the Arsenal back four. Could well have been a very different outcome. It needs to be brought to his attention just to try and avoid that happening moving forward and creating these chances for Chelsea, as Declan Rice plays this out right to Saliba. Ben White's making a run down the right as Saliba plays it through the middle, direct towards Gyökeres, but it's bounced through to Robert Sanchez, who rolls this out now to Esteban. No real support available for him. Out it goes to Cucurella on the left, now for Pedro Neto. Back into his own half as he plays this to Enzo Fernandez. Then to Pedro. And back to Cucurella. And now for Fofana. Now to João Pedro, onto the edge of the area, through to Gui, now to Esteban, to Santos, back to Gui, out to the right hand side for Enzo Fernandez. Can he get across it? Runs on up for a shot, plays it through to João Pedro. Chance here across the face of goal. It goes across the 6-yard box. It went, and all it needed was somebody to divert it goalwards, and it's rolled wide. The best chance of the half for Chelsea, and João Pedro just cut it across, and Saka had time, Ben White had time, both to see there was nobody there and just to let it roll out of play. It will be a kick to Arsenal. Not sure. Gabriel to Arrizabalaga. Back to Gabriel, will take this to the edge of the area, and we've got a Chelsea player down on the edge of the area, unchallenged. And left it goes for Timber. Goes the ball further down the line for Trossard. Into the middle it goes towards Gyökeres. It's left to room for Saka. Out to the right hand side now for Ben White on the edge of the area. To Ødegaard. Cross comes in towards the middle, it's headed away. Forrest Zubimendi on the edge of the area, goes back to Timber. Side, plays it through to Trossard. Pass is blocked, headed away by Esteban. Saliba gets there first, switches this to his left hand side, and it's still with Trossard. There's more ground to cover down that left hand side, and it's opening up for him as the tackle's thrown in by Achimpong. Trossard still comes away with the ball, now to Timber, back to Trossard inside the area, a chance for Arsenal, tries to line up the shot, deflected wide, and we'll have another Arsenal corner out on the left hand side. But Trossard's proving very tricky, cutting in from the left hand side. Fernandez just trying to throw a block in. Corner from the left hand side from Declan Rice. Goes up from the back again in Saliba and Gabriel. And everybody lurking around the edge of the 6-yard box. We're just reaching the half-hour mark in this game. Cross comes in again, caught this time and held by Sanchez inside the 6-yard box. Rolls this out now to Enzo Fernandez, who was hoping for some support, but Arsenal almost immediately back in numbers, and they've not got a chance to launch a counter-attack. But Enzo Fernandez can take this up to the halfway line, plays it out left for Cucurella. Back inside to Fofana. Now for Santos. Now to Fernandez. Across to Chalobah. And Fofana into the opposition half. And for Guiu across to João Pedro. Back to Santos, through the middle for Fernandez, out to the right hand side, finds plenty of space here for Esteban, takes it into the area, sends this goalwards, saved by Arrizabalaga, who turns this behind for a Chelsea corner. Turns straight to the line, he's been wanting a flag, but it's not going to be given this time, and we'll have a Chelsea corner from the left hand side. Again, players up from the back. Cross comes in. Cleared away to the edge of the area. Cucurella sends this goalwards, and it's caught by Arrizabalaga, but there will be an Arsenal free kick to be taken as Timber is now slow back to his feet. Just outside of the 6-yard box, this will be the Arsenal free kick. It was taken quickly by Arrizabalaga, but then brought back. Chelsea have had the better of the possession so far, just not really been able to show anything for it in that final third. Doesn't seem to be quite the attacking prowess that they need at the moment. The way it goes from this free kick this time, Ben White lets it run. It's out of play for a throw into Chelsea on the left-hand side. Cucurella across to take this inside of his own half. Throws this short to Pedro. Down the line it goes to Pedro Neto. Headed away by Ben White. Further on by Ødegaard. Gyökeres is going to chase this down the left-hand side. He's battling at the moment up against Fofana. And it's out of play for a Chelsea throw-in, and Gyökeres kicks the ball away just to waste a bit more time. Get himself into position. Cucurella wants a yellow card for the Arsenal striker. It's waved away and not given. Cucurella with the throwing down the line towards João Pedro. Lets this one all the way through to Gui. Now for João Pedro. Switches this outright, but it's blocked by Ødegaard and falls to Zubimendi. Back inside to Ødegaard. Goes all the way back to his keeper. And it's now with Arrizabalaga. Out to Gabriel. Across to Zubimendi. Now all the way back to Arrizabalaga. Up to his right hand side for Saliba. And back to Arrizabalaga now for Rice. And back to his keeper. Out to Saliba. Space on this right hand side. He's closed down by Enzo Fernandez. Gets the ball away. Cucurella heads this away from the direction of Saka. Ødegaard tries to get there first, and it seemed Fofana go down. Then Santos gets there ahead of Trossard. It seemed Trossard go down, but it's Arsenal that come away with the ball, and it's with Ødegaard. Out to the left-hand side for Timber, inside of the area, up against Achimpong. Can't get the shot away, plays it back. Chance here for Zubimendi. Across to Trossard. He can't get his shot away either. Does on the second attempt, but it's just lofted into the stands. I think he wanted it the first time round, but it was deflected back in his direction. As Timber just tried to drag the ball back onto his right foot and couldn't get the shot away immediately. Chelsea just back defending with everything they've got at the moment. Did well to get back in numbers and make sure that they weren't outnumbered by Arsenal. Gyökeres has had fewer touches than anybody else in this game so far. As Sanchez plays this to his left now with Fofana. Out to Enzo Fernandez. Away it goes by Ben White, all the way through to Robert Sanchez, who will slide out for the ball at the feet of Gyökeres. Rolls us out now to Saliba. As Enzo to his left, uses him. First time ball upfield to Guillem. And it's won back by Saliba, plays it all the way back to Arrizabalaga and out to Ben White, and anything that's going forward towards the Chelsea striker at the moment in Marc Guiu. He's just coming straight back into Arsenal possession. He's really struggling to maintain that possession. I'm not sure if it's just how long it's taken players to get there to support him, or whether it's just a struggle with how well Arsenal have got him marked up at the moment. Zubimendi out to Gabriel, out left for Trossard. Inside for Gyökeres, back to Trossard. Towards his own half for Declan Rice, and now to Zubimendi inside of the centre circle. Out to the right hand side for Ben White. Now to Saka. Back to White. And now Saliba. Across to Gabriel. And Saliba, now Ødegaard. And Saliba inside to Rice. Out to Timber. Trossard through the middle. Controlled though by Chalobah. Now to Esteban. We'll see what he can do down the right hand side. He evades 2 tackles. He gets past Zubimendi. He gets past Trossard, and he gets past Declan Rice, but he's now closed down by both Rice and Trossard as he takes it towards the corner flag. He's forced to go back towards his own goal, and he'll turn back down that right hand side and try and win a corner. He's gone straight over to the linesman who's given a goal kick, saying that he feels it came off of Trossard last, and Simon Hooper will need to get a hold of this situation, as may Enzo Fernandez, as Esteban walks away into the final 10 minutes of regular time at the end of this first half. It's been quite the entertaining first half from both of these sides, neither remaining cautious despite the fact there is a second leg to go before it determines who goes through to Wembley in the cup final. Played short to Arrizabalaga, now to Rice, out to Saliba on the right hand side, out to Ben White, and back to Saliba, across the middle to Gabriel. His clearance is blocked by Esteban. Timber gets there, now to Trossard, goes forward for a chase down the left hand side for Gyökeres, who's going to try and get there first. The tackle comes in from Chalobah, and he wins his side a corner, and it could have been so much worse for Chelsea, but it was quite the outcome for Martin Zubimendi, who was making his run forward. Across goes Declan Rice for an in-swinging corner. Ben White's in there, this is Gabriel and Timber and Saliba. The entire back four for Arsenal actually inside the area at the moment. Declan Rice will send another in-swinging corner towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Chalobah at the near post, to Ødegaard on the edge of the area, all the way back to the halfway line now with Zubimendi. Trossard lays this off for Ødegaard. Cross comes in towards the middle, headed on by Gyökeres, but he can't direct it on target, and it goes wide for a goal kick. Short to his left is Fofana, and he's going to be the one to take the goal kick. Plays this now to Sanchez. Into the middle for Santos, out to Chalobah. Can he keep this in play? The linesman says no, and it's going to be a throw into Arsenal in a dangerous position. Throw-in taken quickly to Gyökeres. I think the referee's just pulled this back. He's told Declan Rice that the throw-in will not count. He'll have to drop back. Good 5 yards. And Declan Rice will go across and take this throw-in anyway, and it'll be a long throw into the area as the area. Defenders have stayed forward. Ben White's lurking on the edge of the area, as is Martin Ødegaard, as Declan Rice had a chance to do this previously. Instead went short. His long throw into the area doesn't quite reach the 6-yard box, but it's away by João Pedro. Controlled by Zubimendi. Back down the left-hand side. Saliba makes sure it gets back to Declan Rice. Now to Saliba on the edge of the area. Has a chance to send a shot goal, which does so, and it's hit the roof of the goal. And it's going to be a goal kick. Ball just goes over, landed on the roof of the goal. Played out now to Enzo, to Cucurella on his left hand side. Tackle comes in from Ben White, wins it back and plays it to Saka. Now to Ødegaard. Strong challenge comes in from Enzo. João Pedro now, the furthest man back for Chelsea at the moment is João Pedro. He's up against Ben White at his own corner flag, and White is keeping him under quite a bit of pressure. He gets the clearance away. Cucurella flicks this on towards Enzo. He's holding on to the shirt there of Zubimendi, and a free kick's been given to Chelsea. Cucurella plays it back to Fofana. Across the face of goal it goes to Chalobah into the final 5 minutes of regular time now. Chalobah up towards the halfway line to Acheampong. Back to Chalobah. Cross now with Fofana. Into the middle for Enzo. Has to go back to Sanchez. Arsenal with a very high press, cutting out multiple channels, forcing Chelsea to maintain possession inside of their own half. They've got the goal. They'll be more than happy to take this goal back to the Emirates in 3 weeks' time. Of course, if they can get themselves another on the score sheet, it's very doable at the moment with the way Chelsea have been defensively. They have been quite error-prone. It's just not quite worked out in Arsenal's favour this far from the errors, as Neto dribbles this inside, and he's dribbling across the middle and escapes 3 Arsenal players out to his right-hand side, tries to thread the ball through to Esteban, but Timber's equal to it. Goes all the way through to Sanchez, who plays this out to Fofana. Back to Sanchez. Neither quite know what to do with it. Ødegaard closes him down. Sanchez eventually gets the clearance away, and that's the mistake that I mentioned that Chelsea are quite capable of making. Is going forward now is Achimpong. He's brought back by Leandro Trossard. We'll see a yellow card now to Esteban, and we'll see a yellow card to Leandro Trossard. Now, the yellow card to Trossard is for the foul, but the yellow card for Esteban is for a simulation of trying to get the referee to alter his mind, I think, over an earlier decision. I don't think the referee's taken any arguments at that point, so we've got a yellow card to Esteban, we've got a yellow card to Leandro Trossard. Both playing up against each other on that same wing. Arsenal's left, Chelsea's right. Enzo Fernandez just outside of the centre circle, inside of Arsenal's half, will send the free kick over the top. It's gone all the way through, and it's fallen to Esteban on the edge of the area, out to his right hand side. A chance here for Pedro Neto through the middle, headed away by Declan Rice, further away by Ødegaard. It's going to be chased down by Gyökeres. Goes all the way back to Sanchez, though does Cucurella, and it's Chelsea still in possession. Now to Enzo, all the way back to Sanchez. Over the top, takes a bounce past Timber and all the way through to Arrizabalaga, who rolls this out to Saliba. And Arsenal, who have now regrouped, Saliba plays this out to Ben White into the middle for Saka, who's fouled by Cucurella, and now we'll see a yellow card for Marc Cucurella. And it's taken a while for the yellow cards to come out from Simon Hooper, but 3 in the space of 2.5 minutes shows that he's now starting to grab a hold of this game. And I think that's a very yellow card worthy challenge from Cucurella, who's adamant that he's got to the ball first. He will have to be careful. He's just back from suspension as well. Sent off against Fulham 2 games ago. He missed the game against Charlton through said suspension. Multiple Arsenal players stood over the free kick. Is one of those that seems to be the one that will take it as Gabriel makes his way to the edge of the area where there's a sea of Arsenal players. Zubimendi and Saliba there. Declan Rice will now step over the free kick as Ødegaard steps away. Let's make this cross into the box. Around about 40 yards out. Saka to his right hand side. It looks like it might be a tough one to get correct as it's headed away by João Pedro. halfway towards a place in the final at Wembley of the League Cup this year. They made it once since 2011, that was back in 2018 where they lost 3-0 in the final to Manchester City. We have to go back to the last millennium when Arsenal last won this competition. It was a 2-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday back in 1993. Well, they are a quarter of a way to getting back to Wembley as the second 45 gets underway, and Robert Sanchez's ball out left goes out of play, and it's going to be an Arsenal throw-in on the right-hand side. Ben White across to take. No changes for either side into this second half, which means for Arsenal it's Arrizabalaga, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Ødegaard, Rice, Zubimendi, Saka, Gyökeres and Trossard. For Chelsea it's Sanchez, Achimpong, Fofana, Chalobah, Cucurella, Andre Santos, Fernandes, Neto, João Pedro, Estevão and Guiu. As now João Pedro makes a break into Arsenal's half, plays it out to his left-hand side for Cucurella. Now to Pedro Neto, back to Santos, and now to Fernandes. Fernandes now turns back into his own half and has to place across to Chalobah. Out left to Cucurella, who's under pressure from Saka, plays this down the line to Pedro Neto. And as Cucurella played the ball down the left-hand side and tried to make his run, he was nudged down. It's a free kick to Chelsea inside of their own half. There were 3 yellow cards issued in the first half. Estevão and Trossard in quick succession. Then within 30 seconds, Marc Cucurella got himself in the book as he takes this free kick and plays it back to Pedro Neto. If you are just joining us, thank you very much for choosing Flashscore as your coverage of the EFL Cup this year. As Arrizabalaga punched the ball away from the edge of the area up towards Declan Rice in and around the halfway line. Now to Jurriën Timber, back to Rice inside of his own half, onto his right foot and plays this across the middle to Saliba. Saliba now out right for White. White all the way back to Saliba, and then again White. And now Saliba will be forced to clear the ball from the edge of his own area. Enzo Fernandez heads this on, and away it goes by Achimpong. Back to Enzo Fernandez, now to João Pedro. And Fernandez by the touchline, through the middle it goes for Pedro Neto to chase down, and it's away by Gabriel as Arrizabalaga was coming out for the ball. No chances taken by the Arsenal centre-back. Going taken by Cucurella, throws this back to Pedro Neto. All the way back to Chalobah. And then out to the right-hand side with Estevão. Inside to Santos. Out again to Pedro Neto, up against Saka. Saka wins it back for Arsenal and will continue his run down the right-hand side. He runs into Cucurella, who gets ahead of him and puts the ball out for a throw-in. It's taken immediately down that right-hand side. Saka's going to get there ahead of Cucurella on the edge of the area. Cucurella's got to be careful. He's already on a yellow card. Saka takes it into the area, waits for the support. Ben White's ball across the middle, makes his way all the way through. And no mistake from within 4 yards for Victor Gyökeres to get himself on the score sheet. He had a chance inside the first 10 minutes of the first half. And I'm not quite sure whether that'll go down to Cucurella not being alert to the situation and the quick throw-in taken by Ben White down the right-hand side, or if it's going to go down as an error for Robert Sanchez, who dived low to his right-hand side. It's a carbon copy of what happened in the first 30 seconds of the game. Saka down the right-hand side into the area. It was dragged back across the middle. In the first half, Sanchez held on to the ball. Well, Ben White's definitely onside, and it's whether Gyökeres will be onside. Sanchez got to the ball. It was played across the 6-yard box, almost comfortably into his hands, but it somehow slipped all the way through, and he's immediately punched the floor, almost as if he knows that it's his error. Set towards the back end of the first half, there are errors inside of this Chelsea defence, and Ben White now has a goal and an assist to his name, as Victor Gyökeres inside the opening 5 minutes of this second half doubles the visitors' advantage, and Chelsea will get things back underway for us for the third time. Now with Guiu. Out to Esteve on the right hand side by the touchline. Brings it back past Timber. Couple of step overs. Takes it to the edge of the area. More centrally. Across the middle it goes. In goes the challenge from Erdegaard. Diverts this away to Cucurella. Now out to Pedro Neto. Across the middle to Santos. Now to Fofana. Chelsea forced back to the halfway line. As it's with Enzo. Out right now to Esteve. And Santos. Out to Achimpong. Cross comes in towards the back post. It's evaded everybody. And it's going to go out for a throw-in right beside the corner flag. As João Pedro is urging on the support and the volume from the Chelsea supporters, and Liam Rosenior turns straight to Alejandro Garnacho, and his instructions being issued to him, so he'll be the first substitution on. Throwing taken by White. Dispossessed on that left hand side, and João Pedro wins it back. Takes it towards the corner flag. He's up against Ben White, knocks it past him, and Saliba's challenge puts it behind for a corner. And we'll have another Chelsea corner on the left hand side. Third corner of the evening. Enzo goes across to take. Grooves in the middle. Joining the attack is Fofana and Chalobah. Everyone in the 6-yard box as the in-swinging corner comes in towards the near post. It's away by Arrizabalaga, who's took a bit of a hit and he's down inside the 6-yard box. He's holding on to his head as it looked like it might have been a blow to the face. He is slowly getting back to his feet. Just going to see who it was that actually collided with him. It was the boot of Fofana that's gone up, and the arms caught the face of Arrizabalaga. And I think it's the trailing elbow that's done it on its way through. The boots, more than anything, caught the glove, which is still a dangerous challenge to go in with. And we're now going to see these changes for Chelsea, and as believed, one of those is going to be Garnacho, and Guiu's going to be the one that goes off. Got a goal and assist against Charlton. Bit of a different struggle against Arsenal. And Achimpong's the other one that's going to come off. So Badiashile will come on in place of Achimpong. And Garnacho will be coming on in place of Guiu, which may push João Pedro further upfield. Maybe Pedro Neto will move into a central role as Garnacho will move out left. Perhaps that's the intention. Fofana's moved out to the right back position. His first option, his first challenge in fact, is to go up against Gyökeres, and he's conceded a foul inside of Chelsea's half. And it's about 10 yards inside of Chelsea's half, where Timber's just having a word with Declan Rice. Will probably make his way into the area afterwards, or to the edge of the area where Chelsea are currently holding the higher line. Plays this out to the left now to Trossard. It's a short free kick. Trossard on the edge of the area. Cross comes in towards the middle. Clearance from Badiashile goes to Saka. Saka back to Ben White, and now to Saka, still on the edge of the area. Can't get his cross in. To White. Now to Erdegaard. Sends this goalwards. Turned away by Sanchez, and out of play for an Arsenal throw-in on the right-hand side. Again, they'll continue to pressure this Chelsea defence. It looks to me like Garnacho has gone to the left-hand side, and João Pedro's gone centrally as the striker, with Pedro Neto playing just behind him in the number 10 role, as Arsenal get a corner out on the right-hand side. And Badiashile's gone in at centre-back, and it's moved Wesley Fofana out to the right-hand side of that back four. So the two changes implemented by Liam Rosenior. Cucurella, who's knocked the ball behind for a corner and gone down once in a free kick, and Simon Hooper's seen right through that and given Arsenal the corner. And right in front of the Arsenal supporters, Bukayo Saka will go and take this in-swinging corner. Again, players up from the back inside the 6-yard box. Sanchez has gone down before the corner's even been taken, and he's surrounded by Gabriel and Ben White, and the referee's just having a word with Gabriel at the moment, and Ødegaard's gone away talking to the referee. Gabriel will resume the exact same position as he did just a moment ago, which forced the referee to bring things to a halt. Enzo is also stood just in front of the goalkeeper. In-swinging corners on its way in towards the 6-yard box, punched away by Sanchez, headed back into a dangerous area by Declan Rice. It's headed away off the line though by João Pedro, and Gyökeres still has this in the area. His cross is blocked and turned behind by Santos, and it's going to be another corner to Arsenal on the left hand side this time, as they continue to keep Chelsea on the back foot, not allowing the substitutes to really get themselves too involved in the game early on. And Rice will be the one to take this in swinging corner from the left hand side. Again, Arsenal players surrounding that 6-yard box, making things as difficult as possible. Around the penalty spot is Gabriel. Makes the run towards the back post now. It's gone towards the back post, headed back into the middle by Gyökeres. Tries to get there the second time, but it's bounced behind. It'll be a goal kick to Chelsea. And they can just take a sigh of relief from the Arsenal pressure. They'll try and create something of their own. Throughout the first half, they did have the majority of the possession. And perhaps with João Pedro, who had success as a striker for Brighton, despite occasionally moving into more of an attacking midfield role with Danny Welbeck. As now it's with Enzo Fernandez. Can't break away through. It's fallen to João Pedro. Now Pedro Neto inside the area. Cross comes in towards the middle. It's gone all the way through to Garnacho. Chance for Garnacho, and Chelsea have pulled one back. It was mentioned that Arsenal were keeping the ball inside of Chelsea's half just to try and alleviate their own pressure from the new substitutes coming on. But within 8 minutes of coming onto the field, Alejandro Garnacho has got himself on the score sheet. The clearance from Gabriel was hooked more than it was cleared, and Enzo Fernandez won the challenge off of Declan Rice. Out to the right hand side it went to Pedro Neto. Couldn't get his cross in the first time, tried it the second, went all the way through to Garnacho at the back post, who had time to take a touch. Ben White had moved into the middle to follow the challenge there of the on-running Enzo Fernandez, and it opened up that space. And I think it'll be a bit unsung just what's happened with Enzo Fernandez making that run. He started the play, made his run into the area, dragged Ben White centrally. It opened up that gap for Garnacho, still from an acute angle, still had a job to do. Managed to get the ball past Arrizabalaga into the near post, and Chelsea have pulled one back. Not yet the hour mark. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 2, the scoreline. What an entertaining start to this second half it has been. And immediately Arsenal have gone up the other end and got themselves a corner from the right hand side, which Saka will go across to take within a minute and 20 seconds. Straight from the goal kick. It's from the kick-off, sorry, which Arrizabalaga sent forward from the edge of his area, and Arsenal have won a corner. Saka on the right hand side. Again, everybody inside of the 6-yard box. In swinging corner on its way. Makes its way into the middle. Punched away by Sanchez. Falls to Ødegaard, who strikes this first time, but it's gone just wide. It'll be a Chelsea goal kick taken straight away. I don't think Fofana was aware of it. He's under pressure from Trossard. Plays it into the middle now for Santos, who's closed down by Rice. Across one more to Enzo. Out to the left hand side for Cucurella. Chelsea are under pressure. I don't think they expected the goal kick to be taken quite as quickly from Robert Sanchez. They feel a little relieved to see his side get on the score sheet, considering the error that he made that led to Arsenal's second goal. Away his clearance goes now, headed away by Timber, up towards Declan Rice on the edge of the area, brings this ball down, but won back by Badiashile. And now it's Pedro Neto down the right hand side, who's going to keep this in play. It's now to Estevao. Estevao on the edge of the area, across the middle towards Garnacho. All too easy for Saliba to get the ball away, but there's new life in this Chelsea side now. Timber down the line to Trossard. Ball across the middle. Badiashile deals with it. Now it's with Santos to Pedro on the edge of the area. Can't get a shot away but holds up play anyway. Now back to Santos, and now Enzo. out to the left-hand side, wide left. It's with Garnacho by the touchline. We'll take this closer to the edge of the area, up against Saka and White. Takes it into the area, cross comes across the middle. Saliba's got time to take a touch, but will take no chances and put it out of play for a Chelsea throw-in on that left-hand side. But the introduction of Garnacho has really changed things for this Chelsea side. Badiashile at the back, moving Fofana to the right, has also changed things defensively. It's made him a bit more solid. Now to Santos. Now Pedro Neto comes short for the ball. Out to the left-hand side, still space for Garnacho. Brings this down on the edge of the area. Can he get his cross in? He's up against Ben White, takes it into the area, onto his right foot. Now to Cucurella, cross comes in towards the middle. Headed away by Saliba and further away by Ødegaard. It's Chelsea in possession inside of Arsenal's half still. Now with Chalobah. Short to Santos, has time to turn on the ball, gives it to Enzo. Out to the right-hand side, brought down by Pedro Neto. Now to Esteve. On the edge of the area, can he get a cross in? Brings it onto his left foot, takes it across to a central area, takes it across the middle, and it's headed wide by Gabriel, and it's a fifth corner now for Chelsea on the left-hand side as we cross the hour mark. Esteban seems to be playing with more confidence. It looks like they're starting to enter things into that final third a bit more confidently than they did in the first half as Esteban goes across to take the corner on the left-hand side. It's actually going to be Enzo taking the corner. Esteban's gone across as a short option. There are options in the middle also. Inside the 6-yard box. Declan Rice is in there. tussling at the moment. Cross comes in towards the near post. Headed away. Back towards Enzo Fernandez. Second attempt in towards the middle. Headed away from Badiashile. Back to Enzo. Now to Garnacho. Can't get his cross in, but plays it to Pedro Neto. Clearance comes off the arm of Saka. Then it comes off the arm of Garnacho. It's the free kick to Arsenal that's been given, though. Saka waits for the ball. And Ben White takes his time to take the free kick just to slow the momentum down. Plays it now to Declan Rice, who's got time to turn on the ball. Back to Ben White it goes. Into the middle now for Timber. And now Saliba as Timber moves out left. Saliba comes out from the back. Timber is waiting for Timber to get to the left back position. Gives it to Gabriel. And into the middle now for some space here with Timber. To Gyökeres into the area. Drops it back for Trossard. Tries to open up space. Back to Timber. Away it goes by Santos. Now it's Arsenal's turn in possession. Headed by Garnacho but fouled by Ben White. And a free kick to Chelsea inside their own half. Just as Arsenal tried to get something going. Chelsea win the ball back and win a free kick in a not so much dangerous position. A position where they do have a chance to make something out of it. Chalobah though goes back to Sanchez. His clearance up towards Cucurella. Tackled by Zubamendi. Throwing on the left hand side now for Chelsea. Now Cucurella will take the throw in inside of his own half. Options down the left hand side. There's Garnacho, there's Pedro. Goes short to Santos and then Garnacho over the top. It goes, brought down by Santos. Under pressure from Saliba. Now to João Pedro. Santos will turn on the ball and spread play out to the right hand side. It's going to be with Fofana. He's got Neto for support. Neto gets this by the touchline. He's not got any options further right. Esteban makes his way there, as does Fofana, as Neto can go further forward. Now to João Pedro, back towards Neto, but cleared by Timber. Back into Chelsea's half. Gyökeres will give chase as Badiashile gets there first. Has time to turn on the ball. Now to Enzo. Arsenal really having to weather the storm at the moment as Santos out to his right hand side. It's just ahead of Neto. Controlled by Timber. Inside to Rice. With Trossard to his right hand side. Turns back into his own half to Ben White under pressure from Enzo Fernandez. Now to Rice, and Arsenal do well to come out from the back with possession. Forward to Timber. Fofana's ball away, headed down by Saliba to Gabriel. Through the middle, finds space here for Rice. Rice out to Trossard. Trossard back to Rice. Into the middle for Saliba. And then Zubamendi. Across to Rice. Then out to Trossard. Trossard by the touchline. Back to the halfway line to Gabriel. And now Saliba. And now Ødegaard, back to Saliba. Saliba takes this into Chelsea's half, finds some space for Saka. He's tripped on the edge of the area. A yellow card's coming for Badiashile. And a free kick in a dangerous position, but at the moment Saka's holding on to his knee and he's down in a bit of pain as he was just letting the ball run across his body. Certainly a free kick and the right decision for a yellow card, as Arsenal were creating something moving forward there. They were playing again with confidence inside their own half, just to build up football, passing it around Chelsea's attacking players in a very dangerous position. Saka is back to his feet. He didn't need the physio coming on, but there are a couple of Arsenal players in changes on the way. Martinelli is all set, as is Mikel Merino, both of which will be coming on, I assume, after this free kick's been taken. The referee's just arranging where the line for the wall will be. Declan Rice and Martin Ødegaard are stood over this free kick. It's one where you'd be at an angle where you'd expect perhaps a right-footed taker to have it, but we are in a position where Ødegaard might fancy his chances of a shot. It's not out of the range. 65 minutes gone at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 2. Robert Sanchez just lines up the wall, makes his way back across. Both Rice and Ødegaard still stood over the free kick. Gabriel's just there to get an idea of what's happening. He's been issued instructions from Ødegaard. Both him and Rice still stood over this. I'm not quite sure who's going to take it, but I imagine it's going to be a shot for either one of them. Rice is going to send it up and over, and it goes over the crossbar and will be a goal kick to Chelsea. And all that build-up, quite an underwhelming finish. And we will now see these changes for Arsenal, and Leandro Trossard is going off, and he's going to be replaced by Martinelli. And Martin Ødegaard is coming off for Mikel Merino, which you dare say the two changes that Arsenal have just made are at no real detriment to their starting lineup. It's quite a strong duo to be bringing on. Of course, Martinelli, albeit against Portsmouth in the last game, did get himself a hat-trick in the last game, and that's going to give an attacker confidence regardless of the opposition. Trossard being substituted on a yellow card might all be a tactical approach. So Trossard and Ødegaard leave the field, Merino and Martinelli on. Coming up to the final 20 minutes of regular time. Two changes apiece. See what impact the Arsenal subs can have. So far in the 10 minutes that Chelsea's substitutes have been on the field, we've seen a yellow card for Badiashile and a goal for Garnacho. Now with Timber inside of his own half. Plays this back to Gabriel. Now to Arrizabalaga. Left-footed clearance inside the 6-yard box up towards the halfway line. Headed away by Fofana, who's gone down and will hold on to his back. And the referee's given a free kick to Chelsea inside of Arsenal's half. But I feel that perhaps that was more impact of the landing that's caused any issues to Fofana than anything else. And the free kick is played short to him by Pedro Neto. He goes back to Chalobah, now inside to Enzo Fernandez, and now with Pedro Neto back to his right hand side for Esteban, and now for Santos to Enzo, out to Garnacho, into Cucurella, back towards Garnacho, blocked by Merino, and it's out to Saka. Saka plays it back to Merino, he's under pressure, now to Zubimendi. And now Saka, out right to White, inside to Zubimendi, inside of his own half, now to Timber, outside of the centre circle, and back to Saliba, and to Arrizabalaga, into the middle for Rice, now Saliba, out to White, White down the line and challenging from Enzo, and it's going to be a throw-in now on the right hand side for Arsenal. And White, of course, across to take. So we might have more changes on the way for Chelsea. I imagine George will be one of those that's preparing themselves to come on, a bit more of an attacking presence. Going back to Arrizabalaga. Cross now to Gabriel. Down the left-hand side channel for Timber to chase, but it's way too much on the ball, and it's going to go behind for a goal kick to Chelsea. Seems to have slowed down a little bit the pace between the two sides. Just while they make a couple of changes, we'll prepare for undoubtedly another wave of excitement as the momentum continues to swing from side to side here. It starts with Arsenal and then back to Chelsea almost in quick succession. It reverts back to Arsenal, and they've got a free kick inside their own half for João Pedro being in an offside position. Timber has stood over this, plays it now to Zubamendi, cross to Merino, back to Saka. Saka by the touchline, inside for Merino. Merino to Gyökeres, back to Zubamendi, takes a touch to beat his man, beats his next man and places it past Sanchez with ease. And Arsenal have restored the 2-goal advantage. Gyökeres just laid the ball back to Zubamendi inside of the area. He faked a shot which caught out one player, knocked it to his left slightly, managed it again for the second time, and then just placed it past Robert Sanchez. It's not so much a defensive error from Chelsea, but they've got to stand and accept the shot, try and get themselves in the way instead of just throwing themselves into the first challenge, because it's causing them plenty of issues. Merino's ball to Gyökeres, he laid this ball off to Zubamendi, knocked the ball past Santos, did the exact same to Fofana, then placed it past Chalobah. It made its way past Sanchez too. And with 71 minutes on the clock, it is Chelsea 1, Arsenal 3. And that looks all too easy, and the changes that Liam Rosenior made gave Chelsea a goal and a way back into this, but then the changes that Mikel Arteta's made has reverted it back in Arsenal's favour, and straight from kick-off they've given the ball back to Arsenal, but it's misplaced pass and away comes Fofana out to Esteban by the touchline. He's up against Timber, has to go back towards his own half and plays this all the way back to Badiashile, out to Santos, out to Esteban, and now Fofana. Changes back to the ball as he plays it out to Enzo, and now to Badiashile. Garnacho dribbles this inside, comes away with the ball, now to Enzo Fernandez, out to his right hand side. Fofana lets it go all the way through to Pedro Neto. He's continued his run into the middle. Neto takes it into the central area, gets across in towards Cucurella, back into the middle. Neto goes up for the header, can't win it, flicked away by Saka, and a chance here for Merino to come away, but actually it's won back by Badiashile. Plays it back to Cucurella, who inside of Arsenal's half maintains possession. Now to Enzo Fernandez, across to Pedro Neto, and now to Fofana, and now Neto, out to Esteban. Timber wins it back, goes up towards the halfway line, and Esteban wins it back, and it's a dangerous tackle from Timber, but it's Esteban that continues with the ball. His efforts blocked by Saliba. It falls back to Pedro Neto, and then Esteban still on the edge of the area, and now with Neto to Enzo Fernandez, then Esteban, then Pedro Neto, not getting across into the box just yet. Now Fofana, and now Enzo, and now Santos to Badiashile, and now Chalobah, and now Enzo Fernandez, outright for Pedro Neto, inside to Fofana, now with Neto, Esteban, Neto back into Esteban, sends it goalwards, it's blocked by Rice, to the edge of the area, away comes Merino, who's fouled, and the shots from Enzo Fernandez goes wide anyway, but it'll be a free kick to Arsenal on the edge of the area, and Pedro Neto's now down holding on to his knee, which has been a lot of pain also. I believe it's going to be Hato that's coming on. Hato will be coming on for Fofana, so perhaps a change at right back. It's a like-for-like change for Chelsea. Just as Fofana seemed to be struggling at the point of conceding that last goal. Hato will come on in his place. So Jarell Hato on, Wesley Fofana off. And a free kick for Ariza Balaga on the edge of the area. He's now seen yellow card for time wasting, despite the fact the change has only just been made. I think it's more that the ball was in his hands instead of on the ground, and he had plenty of time to prepare himself to take the free kick. Away it goes by Ariza Balaga. Put down by Gyökeres for Saka. Now Marino back to Gyökeres, can't get his shot away. It's fallen to Saka, his effort's blocked. It's fallen to Marino, and it's blocked and tipped wide. And Arsenal will have another corner from what they thought might have been an almost certain goal. Marino through to Gyökeres into the area. The tackle was thrown in there, then Saka's effort, and it was Marino, and it was the outstretched right leg of Sanchez, the trailing right leg, that tipped the ball wide for a corner for Arsenal. And another in-swinging corner from Declan Rice on that left-hand side. Again, options in the 6-yard box. Ben White feels like he's been fouled there as it falls at the back post, and it's headed wide by Saliba, and it's going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. Making his run at the back post, found himself free. He'd got the run there on Enzo Fernandez. Nobody had picked up the run. It was again inside the 6-yard box, an attacking header. It just bounced over the crossbar. A goal kick to Chelsea. Sanchez plays this short to his left. Now to Santos. Out to the right-hand side for Chalobah. Chalobah's the one that's moved into the right-back position. Hato's gone into centre-back as Ariza Balaga will try and get there before Esteban and gets the ball away. Headed down by Enzo Fernandez, brought down by Declan Rice, out to Martinelli on the left-hand side. This pass is blocked by Chalobah, but it's fallen back to Martinelli, still with the Arsenal substitute into the area for Zubamendi. Across the middle it goes, brought down by Marino. It's sent goalwards by Martinelli. It's blocked and it's fallen to João Pedro. Onto the right-hand side, he's got options. In goes the challenge, and it's another yellow card being issued. This time it's gone to Mikel Marino for the challenge on the back of João Pedro, who's coming away with the ball. I don't think it was a challenge that was necessarily needed, as Pedro was coming away. It was just a tap on the shin. Mikel Marino's pointed immediately to the ball, indicating that that's what he's got, and he's actually anywhere near the ball. Certain free kick, certain yellow card. Right decision by Simon Hooper. Free kick Chelsea, played short by Santos. Back to Badiashile. All the way back to Sanchez, under pressure from Gyökeres. Out it goes to Cucurella. Flicks this on to Garnacho. Tackle in from Ben White, wins this back. Now to Saka. Inside to Marino, sends it goalwards. It's blocked and it's fallen behind Martinelli. Esteban's going to keep this in play. Inside to Neto. And now to Chalobah. Now Badiashile to Sanchez, outside of the 6-yard box. Effort to clearance upfield towards Garnacho, brought down by White. Garnacho still going to get there ahead of him. Has to go into his own half though with a pass to Cucurella. Now to João Pedro, who was stumbling on his way through and wins a free kick. Received the nudge from Saka just to help him on his way. Plays this to Enzo Fernandez, over to Esteban, who is in an offside position, and it will be a free kick to Arsenal from the edge of their own area. And again, time to take the time. Ariza Balaga will do just that. Has to be careful though, already on a yellow card, entering into the final 10 minutes of regular time here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 3 the scoreline. Well, we are going to see Shamara Miuka coming on for Chelsea, who was brought onto the bench as a replacement for Liam Delap, who was ill ahead of this game. Was expected to feature, perhaps even start. For some changes from Liam Rosenior, and he was the player that was brought in place of Liam Delap. And he's going to get a chance to come in and make a name for himself in the final 10 minutes or so in this game. The other one is Tosin Adarabioyo. Well, they will be the final changes for Chelsea. He's now with Timber. Now with Gabriel. Now to Rice. All the way back to Arrizabalaga. Out to his right hand side with Saliba. Across the middle it goes for Gabriel. And now to Marino. Now Zubimendi. Out left for Martinelli. Arsenal also with 2 changes on their way. Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz, the 2. Free kick now to Chelsea. And we'll now see these changes for maybe even both of these sides. Well, Adarabioyo is going to be the first one to come on. And he's coming on for Marc Cucurella. And João Pedro is the other one that's going to be coming off. And he is going to be replaced by Muyuka. So a like-for-like change as Muyuka comes on for his first team debut. Cucurella, who has already received a booking, is also taken off. And now we'll see the Arsenal changes. Declan Rice is going to be coming off. And he's going to be replaced by Kai Havertz. Only 22 minutes of game time so far this season, and that came in the last game against Portsmouth. Of course, Havertz missed the start of the season through injury. Not the only one. Gabriel Jesus did also. He returned more recently back from injury, and he's going to come on in place of the goal scorer of Arsenal's second goal, and that is Victor Gyökeres. So Havertz and Jesus on, Rice and Gyökeres off. Muyuka and Adarabioyo on, João Pedro and Cucurella off. Those are your 4 changes, split 2 and 2, but that's all changes made by Liam Rosenior to try and shorten this deficit before the return fixture, the return leg, if you will, at the Emirates Stadium in around about 3 weeks' time. Now with Enzo to his right hand side for Santos, and now Chalobah to Adarabioyo. Badiashile out left for Garnacho. This entire back 4, apart from Chalobah, has changed, but we've had at least 2 players playing in every position throughout this game, and you've had at least every player playing in at least 2 positions. That's including the introduction of the substitutes. As Esteban makes the run on during Timber down the right hand side, takes it to the edge of the area, can't get his cross in just yet, still up against Timber, tries to beat him one more time, crosses blocked, turn behind, corner Chelsea. It's on the right hand side, and there's a bit more urgency from Esteban now. Places the ball on the line for Pedro Neto to come across from the left hand side to take. It's going to be an in-swinging corner. In towards the middle, and punches it away from Arrizabalaga. Sent goalwards again by Garnacho, and Chelsea have again pulled one back. And it is the substitute Alejandro Garnacho with his second goal. Well, if there's ever a time to prove to a new manager that you are worthy of more game time, Alejandro Garnacho is certainly doing this against the current league leaders. Arsenal crowding the referee, and Simon Hooper's just telling the players to leave away. Pushed away by Arrizabalaga and sent goalwards again by Garnacho. I'm not quite sure what Arsenal are feeling should have happened in this. Arrizabalaga come out for the ball. Still feel it'd be very harsh if this went against Chelsea. It's headed away by Gabriel. Garnacho's effort went past Saliba and Timber on its way through. Can't see this one being disallowed. I don't know what VAR's checking for, but a possible foul is what it's been told. I'm not quite sure where the incident may have took place. If that's a foul on Arrizabalaga, I believe that's going to be extremely harsh. But the goal is going to stand as Garnacho goes back towards the Chelsea supporters and again urges them for more support. It is now Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. And Jesus, with his first touch of the game, plays this back from a kick-off to Arrizabalaga. out to his right hand side, flicked on now by Havertz, brought down by Saka, away by Enzo, into Arsenal's half. Saliba helps it all the way back to Arrizabalaga. On the edge of the area, gets the ball away. Jesus goes up for the header, but it's won by Adebayo. Now brought down by Enzo, inside of Chelsea's half, loses out, wins it back though immediately off of Merino. Into Arsenal's half, out to the right hand side, chance here with Esteban. Arsenal wanting offside, Esteban sends it goalwards, turned behind by Arrizabalaga. Arsenal still wanting offside, and the flag has now gone up. It will be a free kick to Arsenal. Esteban was wanting this ball almost immediately as soon as Enzo won it back, and he'd made the run way too early. Just looking at the line in the replay, clearly offside. The linesman's done right, he has to wait until the play's done. And the flag went up as soon as Arrizabalaga had turned the ball behind, but there's a bit more energy in this Chelsea side now, causing Arsenal some trouble at the back. Arrizabalaga gets the ball away, headed down by Badiashile, won back by Timber. Timber down the left hand side, knocks the ball past Santos. On the edge of the area, across the middle towards Gabriel Jesus. Can't get his shot away first time. Now to Ben White. Havertz makes the overlapping run. White gets the cross in towards the middle. It's blocked by Enzo. Back to White. Now to Zubamendi. Out left for Timber. Still inside the area. Can he get a cross in? Chips it in towards the back post, and it's gone out of play. It will be a goal kick to Chelsea. Final 4 minutes of regular time at the end of this game. Sanchez plays this out short to Adebayo. Back to Sanchez. Now to Badiashile. Chipped over the top to the halfway line. Headed away by Saliba. Brought down by Havertz. Has that support available. Lays the ball off. Cross comes in towards the middle by Merino, headed away by Chalobah, and Esteban will collect inside of his own half. Further down the right hand side, Pedro Neto gets there. He's up against Gabriel. Takes it to the edge of the area. Takes it into the area. He's got support on his back post. Cross comes in. It's turned behind. And it'll be another Chelsea corner. As Gabriel gets the block in. Far from over this game in the final 3 minutes. Arsenal trying to get that fourth goal. Chelsea trying to get an equaliser to take the game back to North London. In swinging corner from Pedro Neto. In towards the middle. It's headed over from about 2 yards out by Adebayo. A free kick's been given anyway for a foul on Arrizabalaga, who stayed down. We'll have a free kick inside the 6 yard box. It's allowed Gabriel to get a bit more time, and Merino's down as well inside the 6 yard box. I think it might have been given as a corner anyway from Adebayo's head had been pushed over by Arrizabalaga, but it's going to be a free kick inside the 6 yard box for Arsenal. And the goalkeeper will get this away on the right hand side. Headed down in the end by Hato, and it will be a throw into Arsenal on the right hand side. They're slow to take this, but Chelsea will try and speed things up as Ben White will have the throw inside of his own half on the right hand side. He'll have to do it quickly before he ends up on a booking also. Throws this back now to Saliba, all the way back to Arrizabalaga inside of his own area. We'll wait for the pressure. Eventually it's going to come from Muka. Field headed down by Chalobah. Esteban doesn't get there first, and Martinelli plays this inside for Timber. Now to Jesus, lays this off for Havertz. And back into his own half now for Zubamendi. To Gabriel. Across to Saliba. Through the middle back for Merino. Now to Zubamendi. With Saka wide right for support. Plays it to Saka on the edge of the area. Up against Hato. Then back to Merino. And then to White. Now Saka. Saka's tripped on the edge of the area. He stayed down in a heap as it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Chelsea players are absolutely furious, and Pedro Neto will now receive a yellow card. Chelsea have to be very careful at this point. It's silly yellow cards to give away. It is a free kick to Arsenal, and both are definite free kicks, despite the protests from the hosts. Stood on the back of the ankle there of Bukayo Saka. Wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being substituted before the full-time whistle went. I imagine that Mikel Arteta is just waiting for added time to be given before making this final change, as Chelsea are building the wall on the edge of the area. 5 minutes added time at the end of this game for Arsenal to either extend this lead for in 3 weeks' time when the second leg will commence, or for Chelsea to get themselves back on level terms. It will have been a valiant, hard-fought effort to get themselves back even, ready for the next game. We're now into those 5 minutes. Who stood over this free kick is Zubamendi. Plays the shot to Saka on the edge of the area. He's up against Garnacho. Doesn't get the cross in. Plays it back instead to White. His cross does come in towards the middle. It's caught by Sanchez inside the 6-yard box. Quickly gets the ball away on the right-hand side. It's going to be a race here for Arrizabalaga to get to it. And he does get there first, and he gets the ball away. Back into Chelsea's half. Header was won by Chalobah. And then he gets there to the second ball as well. Now with Enzo inside the centre circle, through the middle, finds some space for Esteban to get there. Goes into the challenge with Gabriel, wants a free kick. Referee tells him to get up, and Arrizabalaga rolls the ball out to his right-hand side for Saliba. Now for Kai Havertz. Down the line for Saka. Havertz overlapping. Saka's still driving forward with the ball. Through the middle he's got Jesus. At the back post is Martinelli. Saka through the middle. Finds Havertz. Tries to get it across the middle, but he can't get enough connected onto the ball. And it goes into the arms of Sanchez, who looks for an outlet but can't find one. And has to remain with the ball inside of his own area. Drops it and plays it now to Adebayo, out to Badiashile. Still inside of his own area. Now back to Sanchez on the penalty spot. Jesus trying to cut out the channels while closing him down. Now to Badiashile, inside to Enzo. And now for Santos. Santos forward for Neto. Neto can turn on the ball inside of the centre circle. Takes it into Arsenal's half. Goes forward down the left-hand side. He's got Garnacho in the middle for support. Tries to pull it back, but it's blocked by the heel of Merino, and away come Arsenal. Now to Merino on the edge of the area. Back to Saliba. Now Saka. And now Ben White on the edge of his area on the right-hand side. Gets the clearance away. And it's going to be chased down by Badiashile. On the edge of the area. And now for Enzo. And now Santos. And now Chalobah. And now Santos. And now Enzo across to Sao Pedro. Now Adebayo. Now Santos. Chelsea just taking the ball into Arsenal's half, but they've been forced to keep the ball inside. And now Chalobah. Adebayo goes back to Sanchez. Jesus is going to close him down as Sanchez gets the ball out down left, headed away by Ben White, brought down by Bukayo Saka. Zubamendi further right. Into the middle he's got support in Merino. Goes back into his own half to Saliba. And out to Gabriel.